Okay, hi and welcome back to the videos. In this video I'm going to take you into HostGator CPanel. That is the back end of your website, and in there I'm going to quickly show you around, and then we're going to create an email account for your website. For example, for realmexicanfoodrecipes.com, if we had an email that was like admin, contact or support at realmexicanfoodrecipes.com, it looks far more professional. So before we actually set up your blog, the first thing I'm going to do is take you into CPanel and set you up an email account, or show you how to set up an email account inside CPanel. So when you registered with HostGator, you would have been sent some details after you've got your account all verified and everything. So you see here you have your control panel address. You can either copy this and paste that into your browser, or actually when your website is properly up and running, you can put in the domain name /cpanel. That's another way to get to it. So simply click on that link and get it registered into your browser. And what you see now here, we have the HostGator CPanel, so it's asking for your username and your password. Now go back to your details. Again, it's worth copy and pasting these into a notepad and having them saved in your folder so that they are close. Now the username I set up was Mexican, and here is the HostGator password that they've generated. I'll copy that. So in there I'm going to put in Mexican, and then in there I shall paste the password and click login. So it's now authenticating and login is successful, so now it's redirecting me to the CPanel, which is the back end of our website. Okay, so now we're actually in and just waiting for it to all load up properly. Okay, so there we are, we're now actually in. Once you first get into HostGator, they will set up some little pop-ups, which these are like little tutorials, so you can watch a few videos if you want and get to understand CPanel better. Simply just click off that if you don't want to. Then there's also, they're always trying to do a bit of an upsell. You can get, HostGator will convert your website for mobile, but you don't need that because we're going to use WordPress, and there is a plugin that will allow you to do that brilliantly anyway. So I'm just going to click off that. Okay, so now this here is the CPanel, which is the back end of your website. As you know, you haven't actually got your website set up yet, and the reason is because we need to go down here into the software services and go into Fantastico Deluxe, where we shall actually install WordPress onto the website. But first we need to get the domains that are in GoDaddy pointing to the name servers here of HostGator. But before we do all that, the first thing is I want you to go into HostGator, have a look at CPanel, and then I want you to set up an email account. Now you go into this section here that is called Mail. Here is the email account section there. Just click on that. And simply put in what you want your email account to be. So if your name is John or Peter, you put your name in there. But for this one, I'm actually going to put admin at realmexicanfoodrecipes.com, and the password, I'm going to try our easy to remember password, which was I love real Mexican food recipes and so should you. Now it won't surprise me if that is weak, but I'm going to go with it. I love real Mexican food recipes and so should you. That's quite good. Sometimes certain hosting companies, they tend to want a far stronger password, but here in HostGator they've accepted that, which is fine, so it's great to remember. So basically now you've got admin at realmexicanfoodrecipes.com. There's your password, and there's your password again, and simply just click on the create account. Okay, account is created, so now you actually have an email at admin at realmexicanfoodrecipes.com. So in fact, let's do that again, as I am setting this up. Let's go through the whole process again. So if I just go to home, again the box has popped up. I'm going to tick this and just click that. So once you've got into CPanel, again you scroll down to the section that says Mail. Where it says Email, click on the Email button. Okay, now it's uploaded there. We've now landed on the actual email accounts page. So I'm going to put in Andy. So there's an email for andy@realmexicanfoodrecipes.com. Password, I'm going to go with, again, the same password. I love real Mexican food recipes, and so should you. And I'm going to do exactly the same again. Simple as that. I'm just now going to hit the create button. Incidentally, if you wanted to create a harder password, you can hit the password generator, which will give you a password which is similar to that password there from HostGator itself. The problem with that is the chances are you'll probably forget it and have to keep going to your password sheet to find it. Even though it'll be very strong and hard to probably break, sometimes it's a lot of hassle, so I tend to choose something which I don't think anybody's going to get, as you know, and something that you can always remember. So now just simply click on the create account, and there it is. So now we actually have admin and Andy. It's very simple. You can create as many email accounts as you like, and you don't really need to have many, but it's also very professional. So for example, if I'm ever contacting people in the future, I can use the andy@realmexicanfoodrecipes.com. So now that you're setting up proper email addresses and you also have the Gmail email account, when you're setting up accounts for the future, say for Fiverr and PayPal or places like that, you often get lots of newsletters that you probably don't want to read, or you don't want blocking up your email. So now you can choose whether to use the Gmail account for a lot of the rubbish, so to speak, and then for your proper, more important day-to-day workings, you can actually have your own proper professional looking email account inside HostGator. Okay, so we now actually have these email accounts. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go into one of these email accounts, and you can see how we open them up. So now we are at the website, the Real Mexican Food Recipes.com. Here in the browser, if you put a / and then type in webmail, it's worth bookmarking this page as well. If you don't know how to bookmark, I shall do a short video to show you how to bookmark pages so that you can get to them quicker. Thing is, once you've used them a few times anyway, they are remembered in the browser search bar, so as soon as you start typing /WE, it'll come up anyway. So this here now is the CPanel for your email. We have set up several emails for the actual website, so what you want to do now is put in your email address, which was Real Mexican Recipes.com. And down here is your password that you would have chosen while you was creating your email account. So then simply just click on login, which has now taken us into the CPanel. This is where you'll access your own personal email. What you'll get here is this HostGator control panel, and you have 3 different forms of email software that you can use to open up your email. There are a few other bits and bobs down here which I really don't tend to use, but the one that I use here is Roundcube. Now you can enable auto load, which if you do that and then just type in, say, 1 second and press OK, the next time you actually enter into your email account, it will automatically open up into Roundcube. You can choose any of these 3, Horde or Squirrel Mail, but I use Roundcube, And so I'm just going to quickly go into Roundcube and show you what the inside of your CPanel email account will look like. And so this is it. As you can see, I have no emails at all in here yet. But you've got your usual inbox, you've got your drafts, you've got your sent, you've got your junk and your trash. If you wanted to write a mail, you simply click on that icon at the top, which will then bring up your box. So you put into whoever at gmail.com there, just type in your subject. Now you write your email in this box here. If it's in plain text, or if you want to create a HTML, just go down to the bottom right hand corner and choose HTML, and then you'll see a little editor appears, so you can do things like adding hyperlinks and images into your email. But so what we have here then, this is basically your email. You just type in your email and then you hit send. You're not likely to be using this much for images or hyperlinks. This really is more like a contact for people to get in touch with you. You can reply to them from this, but as you see, it's admin@realmexicanfoodrecipes.com. That's what they'll see when you send your email out to people. So you've got up here, you have your settings, which means that you can create new folders as well. So you can put in there contacts or other important emails. If you receive like a newsletter from someone, you can put in the name of the newsletter, and then when you go actually in your mail account, when you open up an email, you'll get the option to move the email into one of the folders that you've set up, and that's in settings. Identities, you can create somehow, I believe, other email names and stuff, which you will not need to do, so that's really not that important. Then there is your address book, again fairly self-explanatory, just put in the people there. But like I say, this is going to be it's more of a professional email, so it looks better. So you could use one of these as your own personal as opposed to the Gmail account, or you could set up contact and support and admin, and then they're just emails for receiving more than sending out. Obviously sometimes you need to reply, but then you just hit the reply button. But if you wanted to create an address book, then you can do so. Click on the mail icon, will just take you back to the main mailbox, and you can check for new messages. That's just basically like a refresh button, not that I have any. And then when you've got a load of emails, you've got your little select down here where it will select all, select current page, select unread or invert, and there's basically then you can delete in bulk loads of emails that you don't need. So that's basically it, and then there's just your log out button at the top, and then once you've done that, you've logged out. So that there is your CPanel email account that you get with HostGator. I've shown you how to set up an email account, and you can set up several. I believe that you can actually set up unlimited in HostGator, but then how many do you really need for a website? You've probably got support, admin, contact, and then probably an own private one. That's entirely up to you. And that's it for this video. I shall see you in the next one.